All right. Let's see what we got here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is Thanksgiving here. Everybody is chill, talking about drinks and just kicking back. And I looked up, and the next. Oh, ideas. What a cute little commercial. There we go. And so, what we're seeing here today, let's see, what is that? That is the stock market. It's moving down a little bit, nothing major. But the thing that caught my eye today is Bitcoin. Look at that slide. Is that even close to real, or partially real, or pretend real? I don't have no idea what that is all about. So we'll just watch and see what that's all about. Let's see. We go. Where do we go from here? We're just going to keep on searching for that. But the end result is that is the Bitcoin, and they've taken a good little slice out of it. Looks like it's down a couple $1,000s. Looked like it fell down into the 16,605. We'll see. I guess it is real. Who knows? We've been in the daily sell for like a day or so, and they've gone into the smackadoodle stage. So we'll see what that does. All right, let's jump over to, was it? There's the Swiss. I'm going to take a look at the Swiss this morning. You see dollar is kind of flattish up right there. Let's put it on J4X and move this out of J4X's way at the same time. Let's see right there. There we go. And there's the J4X. Now you can see they flirted with getting going on the upside here a little bit, which is a little surprising. You can see the daily's been pressing down. We're in a sell now since like right there. Throw a little red line in there again. There we are. And there is the red line, goes right there. Just check the fact check spreadsheet just to double check. Double check. Right there. 2 days. That makes sense. Yep. So that's where it went into the sell. And it has slid down. And then today it's trying to pop up a little bit. Again, there's no real trading going on here in the States. There is some electronic trading. But overall, it's relatively dead. So I wouldn't be too... Don't try to jump on any particular trend. I have one trader that's trading away and making money today. He traded last night and he's trading this morning. It's like he doesn't care. He just needs to trade. And he's actually up for the day, so that's okay. But it's an intraday market more than anything else. All right. Now, let's take a peek at, let's see. Oh, that's soybeans. Let's take a look at it with J4X with the dollar Swiss right there. Yep, red. Just like we have been here. So you had two greens, and then now you have two reds. In this case here, on our work, we have three reds going. So see how close this does follow our work, which is nice. You can see it's heading down. Our lines are heading down. The only thing that's got my curiosity is this is moving up. I'm not sure what that's all about, but we never know until the end. What happens is that market, the math does its own thing, and then we kind of sit back and go, oh, that's why it did that. Because the math picks it all up. And no fundamental or anything like that can give us a, a direction. Huh. They're on one of the financial channels, they're showing us... what state has the most turkeys? It's that type of day. The action here in the States is always lethargic. All right. Let's see. What else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. And now let's take a look at the euro and see what the euro is doing this morning here. You can see that it's going down in value, just like the way the Swiss is going up a little bit in value. Not the Swiss itself, but the dollar is going up against it. So I'll put that up there. There you go. Now over on the euro, we have line 14. We're looking at 2 days in a buy and 5 weeks in a buy. What's curious, in line 21, which is the Swiss, we have 1 week in a sell, and 2 days in a sell. So that's functioning a little bit better there. And it's definitely a good trender, and it gives us a really, really good view of what the overall dollar is doing compared to, in some ways I think of the dollar Swiss pairs trade like the way I look at the NASCAD. It's like a clean way of looking at the Canadian. Kind of filters out the noise, and that seems to be the best way to describe that. It kind of filters out the overall market noise, and we see the true trend of the overall dollar. I mean, we have so many different products that are going in different directions. Like this morning, we can take a look and see. You can see it here. This is the S&P 500. Let's just refresh that. This is and it's an electronic market this morning. No one's really that involved. It's down just a little bit. You just see a little red. Nothing major. Just a few points. And let's see what the NASDAQ is doing. Now that's doing pretty much the same thing. Let's refresh that. And that is showing it a higher. So they're buying that. You can see that's green. So now let's go back to the currencies. And you see here like I said, the euro is moving down a little bit. Nothing major. It's a holiday, so I don't expect a lot of action out of it. What's a little curious is the way it has tried to go into the weekly and failed. And you can see it's trying to do that right there. Now, let's drift over to the British pound, because we are really banging along that 134 area. And the weekly does not seem to want to quit. Notice that? It's holding up. Every time it tilts down, finds a way to move itself back up. We'll see what we'll do next week. But if we get up through that 34, this thing is going to start to turn even higher. And when we go back and look, let's scrunch it up instead of going back. As you can see there, that white line has been much higher. So it has the room to take out this high right there, which a lot of traders throughout the Dukascopy on the webinar here have said that. They've looked at it and they said, looks like it could go higher. And it really does look like it could go higher, the cable. And I know I saw a headline yesterday. It was really a surprising one. Something about the worst economy in 300 years. It's like, ooh, it's burned. I mean, that's really what that is, burned. Are you still trading away? Are you still trading away?
Yeah, I'm just like clipping 75s constantly.
Well, that's good.
But that puts me up 93.05.
93.05 is what? $9,300. 93.05. $9,305.
Yeah, for this week.
Oh, that's nice. Well, you just say hello to the world. I'm in the middle of the broadcast.
Oh, hello world.
There you go.
And we also put back our half of the commission, which would be 5,000 more.
Okay, so basically about 50%, a little under 50.
Yeah, just under 47%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Yep, I'll give you a yell right after the webinar.
Bye, world.
Bye-bye.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, there you go.
USA.
Yeah, there you go. I like that. All right, so that's the one trader that's still trading. And he just figures I'm not even participating today. I will always do the Dukascopy thing. And so you can see here, this is just kind of hesitating. It has that look like it wants to make a jump up. Even with I guess you could say it this way. A lot of money managers have this attitude that when things are the worst, time to buy. In other words, buy low, sell high. I know a lot of people have drifted away from those concepts. They've forgotten that concept even exists. They have the tendency to buy high and then buy it higher and then buy it higher. We used to call that on Wall Street when I was young. We called that cannonballing. Where you jump off a diving board and kids jump off and they're all cannonballing one behind the other. Sooner or later, somebody gets hit. And that's what we used to refer to it as cannonballing. And the end result is that I don't think it's, that's logical in the end result, especially in the money management side of it. But and the end result is that you can see here it's trying to even create like a triangle right here with the cable. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we find a way to jump up. And let's see where we could go with that. Where's the last real big high? Do we end up into the 40s in this thing? In other words, money's maybe starting to come in thinking, okay, well, if they're at a 300-year low, it's got to be a good buy. Now, look at that. There's a lot of resistance. Back in, when is this? This is June of 2018. So you can see April of 2006, 218. April of 218, it traded to 43. So, maybe this will try to break that 34 resistance area. See, it's 32 here. Let's put a line in there. There's the 34. And let's make it really thick and black, and we'll just take a look at that on the cable and just see, just to get a flavor of how much that has been an area that stops it. It hits it there in March of 2019. It hits it again in December of 2019. It meets it again in September of 2020. So for the last couple of years, it has been the ceiling. It's been fighting it. So we're in a weekly buy. We've been in a daily buy for, what's that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now. And it keeps on banging up against it. And that is line, where is that? That is line, let's go over and fix that. You can see it on the fact check spreadsheet. That's line 13. So 6 weeks in a buy, 7 days in a buy. The trend is your friend on the upside there. And you can see it's really made a challenge to that area and stalled. Let's see what it does this time around. I think it wants to keep on going. It would be nice if we were just coming into it again like here. But this could be this action right here. In other words, this could be the 34 to it, and it goes to, say, 36 or 37. And it stalls out at the 37. I could see the Fibonacciers and the trading desks looking at the 34 and the 43, and that's, what is that? 34 and 43 is 900 handles. I could see them doing third, and third. In other words, doing the 1/3 or 0.382 or 328, whatever Fibonacci you pay attention to there, and 1/3. And so it wouldn't surprise me if we find ourselves in the 47s and then roll over, try to, push down a little bit, see maybe this becomes the support, and then we'll see from there. Yesterday it looked like Mr. Biden had lost Pennsylvania now. So there's no news whatsoever on any of the national media services, which is amazing. But for 3.5 hours, the state legislature basically said they're not going to give him the votes. So that means Mr. Trump wins the state. And there's not any news. Isn't that amazing? There's no news on it at all. The legislature, the Senate, and the Assembly said, we think that we had a rigged election, and the population in Pennsylvania does not have confidence in the election. And so the Assembly and the Senate can take the votes away from Mr. Biden and give them to Mr. What they do is they put the electoral college delegates, they will take the Biden electoral college delegates and remove them and put in Trump electoral college delegates, and Mr. Trump will own the state now. He will get the 20 electoral college votes, even with it being certified for Biden. They can do that because the Senate and the state Senate and the state Assembly in each state has the most power of all. That's, state rights and powers. And the governor doesn't even have an opportunity to say anything. So, or the Secretary of State of Pennsylvania. So it looks like Mr. Biden now has lost the state of Pennsylvania. And it looks like it's probably going to go that way with Michigan and Wisconsin. And Mr. Trump is going to be president in January. That's the way it rolls. And it's getting close. The Republicans, Mr. Trump's party looks like they have taken not only the Senate, but they're getting very close of taking the House of Representatives in Washington. The media is not saying anything about that either. So I think they're only three seats away now. They needed 18. They won 15, it's looking like now. And it looks like even a New Jersey congressman is finding votes. And so is a New York State congressman. So it's amazing. The media is saying nothing. Nothing at all. We see nothing in the United States about this. I'm only able to see it through official channels of smaller news services. They actually ran a 3.5 hour live feed of the state assembly and Senate, and the president of the Senate and the majority leader of the assembly, which is a woman. She spoke about it, and then the speaker of the assembly spoke about it. And can you imagine? There's no news in the United States. None. Zero. You have no idea that Biden has now basically lost the state of Pennsylvania, which is the biggest of the states out there that are in contention. It's 20 electoral college votes, which brings Mr. Biden under the 270 that he needs. He has 279, so now he's at 259. So that's where we stand. All right, that is with the cable. The cable does show that characteristic of, I could see this doing this. And we may even label this webinar British pound strength or something like that, or something of that nature. All right, let's jump over to the Turkish Lira and see what they're doing with that today. There's that little rollover we thought might happen where this is the A and then this is the B. You can see here it's flirting with the daily sell. And the weekly has turned back up. We're getting ready this week. It looks like it's going to be 52 weeks. That's line 17 right there. You can see it there. We're 51 weeks in a buy and 3 days in a buy. And, it hasn't gone too far up. We'll see what they do with that today and tomorrow. And see how they go. And then chances are it'll be 52 weeks, 1 full year in a weekly buy. That's where we're at. We're getting ready to land on 52 weeks. Isn't that amazing? What a fascinating couple years of watching this thing trade now is. It is just so cool. All right, now let's drift over to, where do we go back to there? Let's jump over to the Canadian. They have a tendency to act the same. You see it's a little firm here today. If that's heading down, which is bullish, then this should be also heading, this should be heading down also, and it looks like it is. We're getting a little green dot action there. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. Right there. As you can see there, it's the CCI is trying to turn up, and our white and our golden dots are still heading down. We're still in the red. As you can see, we're just doing a little green thing, and this thing is starting to turn up. We are in a weekly sell for 1 week, and it looks like it's going to stay there for a second week. You can see it on the fact check spreadsheet too at the same time. 1 full week in a sell there, and 2 days in a sell. And we'll see how that rolls along. Rolling with the homie. All right, now let's drive ourselves over to the NASCAD. See what the NASCAD looks like. You can see there 4 weeks in a buy, and what's that, 3 days in a buy. Let's throw it up on J4X. Right there. Quiet day, no questions. Yesterday we were a busy little bunch. It cycles around here. Some days everybody wants to see what's going on or has questions or ideas, and then some days everybody's just standing and just talking to themselves, just kind of kicking back. I like that. Alrighty, let's see where we at here. Okay, so that's about it with the Canadian. Now let's put the NASCAD there like we did on J4X. Right there it is. NASCAD. Wow. What's that all about? We've been in a daily buy that long? Why isn't it reflecting that? Let's go over to the fact check spreadsheet. Something's wrong there. It just says it says 3. How could it be 3 on the NASCAD when it? Let's give it a refresh. The weekly's right, 4. But look at this. This has been in a buy for a while. That's 2. That's 4. That's 6. That's 8. That's 10. That's 12. That's 14. That's 15. How did we end up with a 3 there? Put that in there. 15 days in a buy. Wow. How did we miss that one? Let's go to the one right below it. The New Zealand against the dollar. See what that says. Okay. So that didn't even go in a sell either because it's a red and green. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17. No idea how the numbers got messed up on that. 17. There we are. Amazing. I don't know what that's all about. Let's just refresh that. And that's why it's nice to have people questioning things like, Doc, tell us where this is at. And we go look at it and we realize this is not matching up to our fact check spreadsheet. Now this one shows to be in a buy 1, 2, 3, 4 full weeks. Let's see what it says on the fact check spreadsheet. Yeah, it says it right. It's 4 weeks. Let's put the line in there. There we are. So that's correct. I have no idea. I guess, I don't know, maybe this messed it up somehow or another. We must have, maybe we thought it was minus and when it wasn't. Something odd happened there. Now we got some bodies in here. Oscar, long time no see. Happy Thanksgiving to you and planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. Because I think of America as the engine to the world economy. So, and Barry, can I ask how you spreadsheet, about the spreadsheet? Sure. What we do is just as we just showed there, what we do is we follow the charts. And I guess what happened was we must have accidentally thrown them into cells for this day here. But then going back and looking at it, it never really did. So I must have done it too early or too mature and premature. So what happens is that the spreadsheet, the way it works, Barry, is this. Is that this is the weekly buy signals. Right there. It tells us how long it's been in there. I used to put the numbers in there too, like what the number was. But I've gotten lazy and I let the spreadsheet, or the charts do it now. It's nice and lazily. And then you can see here, that's the cells right there. So in other words, like corn has been 15 weeks in a buy. Now let's go over and find corn. Open workspace. Combo there. Pop that open. And it's going to fill in. Where you been, Oscar? I haven't seen you in a while. Yep, my friend, I've been dealing with this. Oh, no. The COVID, huh? Did everybody survive? I hope so. No, we've had no problem with it at all. But then we're out in the farm and, out in the country. And, we don't, I mean, people around us, I think our county has only had like 1 or 2 deaths. That's about it. We got 500,000 people living in the county overall. And let's say the county is probably like, let's see, how big is this county? It's probably like 40 kilometers in one direction, and it's probably like 100 kilometers in another direction. So what is that? That's like 40 times 100. That's like 4,000 kilometers square. And, we've had like 2 deaths or something like that. So it's not bad at all around here. Oh, okay. What do you think of it, Barry, so far? So in this case here, let's see, let's find corn. And we'll show you what we're doing there. We're following the December corn. Let's find the December corn here. And there is December corn. And as you can see here, we've been in a buy since that point in, what is that, August 15th. And so 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, 4 week. And what happens is that the histogram and the white line have to be across the zero line. And that one was zeroed out there. And then so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And this is going to be the 16th week, and look at it, it's making a challenge to the weekly sell. See how it says there, plot 1 is minus 0.05, and plot 4 is 0.110. It's just a doubling thing. The plot 4 is for us to measure the distance that it goes from the manifold up more. That's what that's really about. The real game here is they both go minus together. They never hold off. It's very rare for it to ever hold off. So you can just basically watch the histogram. If it goes plus, it's in a buy, and when the histogram goes minus, it's in a sell. That's pretty much the way it works there, Barry. And so when we go and look at, just choose anything off the spreadsheet there, the Turkish Lira is 51 weeks in a weekly buy. The Euro GBP is 6 weeks in a sell. So let's take a look at that. And what you'll find is a lot of times, if not all the time, you'll find it in a downtrend if it's in a sell, overall downtrend. And if it's in a weekly buy, it'll find a way to be in an uptrend. So you can see, like here, it went into the weekly sell here, and then you can see, after 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, each week it reconfirms itself, and looks easily like it's going to be there's 3, there's 6. It's going to be a 7 next week because this is minus again. Now let's go look at something like Turkish Lira. Turkish Lira went down last week and tried to go after the weekly sell, but bounced back up again. So next week is going to be 52 in this box right here. And ruble, I think, just went into a weekly sell. Let's just take a look at the ruble. Yeah, so the ruble, in this case here, it's a super, so that's when you pay attention to both the white and the histogram together. But when it's just a plain gas line 3 or gas line 5, you only look at the histogram. And so, because what we're really doing is we're using the white line to look and see how far it goes off of the time manifold. But if it's a gas line 3-5, we're looking, then it has more relevancy to they have to both be minus. And so if it's a double, 2 different numbers. So let's see, let's give you somebody, I think we have one, it's like a gas line 7 we're using. See what that is. That's a gas line 3-5. There's a few that we use a larger average to. Let's see what this has. That's a 3-5. I know we were looking at cattle on a 7. Now we've moved to a 3-5 on that. Does that help out, Barry? Understanding the fact check spreadsheet? So what it's doing is it's monitoring our charts and telling you how long it's been in a daily trend. And that's what the second line is over here. Right there. Like gold is 13 days in a sell, whereas gold is 5 days in a buy. So let's go over and take a look at the charts of those on a daily basis. So crude oil went into the daily buy here, and so there's 3, 4, 5, and it looks like it's going to be a 6th day right here. And then gold went into a sell after the news came out on the gap down of the viruses cures, where 2 of them came out in one day. And you can see it took a while for it to really fall apart. You can see it's still in the weekly here, so it's a neutral. And then, unless you're trading the option spreads. And then you can see here, let's widen that. You can see it held up again. And then it broke down on Monday, and we went, but it started to push underneath, and you knew there was pressure from here. And then now you've got a collapse from the 1800. Look at the close, 1872, and now it's trading down to 18 even basically. Dropped underneath 1800 by a couple dollars, and we're going to be in a weekly sell the way it looks like here. And we're in a daily sell, and you count them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And that's why we have a 13 here, whereas on the West Texas Intermediate, it's only a 5-day on the upside. Noted. Thanks for the explanation. No problem. Yep, everybody okay now. Sent elders to live out city at farm. We got, so no contact. Exactly. You know, we're not even sure if any of these numbers are right. This looks like it's all tied with the criminal things in the politics at this point in time. So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there saying that the virus, you know, in other words, if you had a car accident and you also showed to have the virus, you are considered dead from the virus, not the car accident. That's really weird stuff. This is, when you control the media, you got to imagine, Mr. Biden just lost Pennsylvania. And the media is not even telling anybody about it. They're still pretending that he's winning Pennsylvania. This is a very concerted effort to steal the election. Mr. Trump has won in every which way. The most votes for a sitting president ever in history. The Senate stayed Republican. The House of Representatives is on the edge of turning. He picked up 14 or 15 seats so far over there. And the legislatures, the state legislatures, picked up seats all over the place. And somehow or another, Mr. Trump lost the election. We have 30% of the non-Republican voters think the election was rigged and against Mr. Trump. And we have 97% of the Republicans and people who voted for Mr. Trump think the election was rigged. So they have evidence of rigging all over the place, and the national media is not reporting one thing. So we're going through it all. It's crazy stuff going on here in the States. Yeah, monkey business, Oscar. Exactly. That's all it is monkey business. And so yesterday, Pennsylvania said they are not sending delegates for Mr. Biden. They're going to send the delegates for Mr. Trump. So yeah, it's going to be that way probably for Michigan and Wisconsin, those other two states. There's a good chance it's going to happen out in Arizona. There's a good chance that the same thing's going to happen in Georgia. And Mr. Trump is going to be president in January. And then he's going to play with the monkeys. That's going to be entertaining. It's going to be 4 years of very entertaining Trump, I can tell you that. And that's the way it rolls. All right. Does anybody want to see anything particular? If not, we'll go look at some of the other commodities. We've jumped over into the commodity universe here. I mean, if you want to see a stock, we'll put, not a stock, a currency or a stock. Yeah, we'll look at either. You want to see a currency or a stock, just throw it up on the chat line. We'll go after it. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's take a look at, let's look at some of the grains, see what the grains are doing. That was corn. We showed you that it's playing with its weekly. We're getting beeps from somewhere. Where the hell are we getting all these beeps? It was my grandchild. Okay, let's see what we got here. That's so cute. All right, let me just throw little smiley faces on the to them. But yeah, if you have an interest in seeing any stock or currency or futures, oh, I showed you Bitcoin at the beginning. What's up with that? I mean, they really smack-a-doodled the Bitcoin. Bitcoin really got smacked down a couple $1,000s. That's why I don't think it's going to 100,000, but we'll see. A lot of people think that it's going to 100,000 to 300,000. I'm not totally convinced we're going to see that right now. I mean, I could see it. I don't know. It's just hard to believe, you know, that it would go to $300,000 in the next couple of years. Anything's possible, of course, but I don't know if Bitcoin is going to start reflecting Mr. Trump's successes. I guess as we watch the news coming in about it all, we will see. You know, I think that's what the real answer is at this point. And that is where we're at. Okay, let's jump over to the chat line, see if you put anything up there. Let's see. Oscar says, Bitcoin Regulation talks. Also, IRS sent massive notification to some to take profits. Oh, really? Interesting. And so that's why we saw the slam and we went into the daily sell a couple days ago. Let me just show you the Bitcoin on here again. Where's it at? Where's Bitcoin? Okay, right there. There it is right there. Bitcoin. December Bitcoin. Okay, so they did a lot of that last night, and then they did even more of it today. Wow, they drove it down to 16,605 from a high of, could it really have been that high? No, I think this is a holiday bar. That's all that is. It probably came down from the 1800s. It closed at 1805 or $18,055. So it fell $1,500, not even, like $1,400. That's what it was, a $1,400 drop. And then they're bounced it back. Now it's at $17,500. So it's only like $500 off. So that's not that bad. I mean, that's, think of it as a $19 stock, and it's down 50 cents. That's normal. All right, Oscar says, see, we saw that. That's Oscar, take profits. Barry says, how's DXY looking on your side using the histogram? Oh, yeah. Here, let's take a look at that. We use the UUP. It's the ETF. Where's it at? Right. It's the dollar index. It's the same thing, but in a different increment. We'll find it in a second. It's here. Where are you? Not there. My eyes are missing it. There it is. And you can see, let me just open up a better one. But I think they're both the same. The one we send out to the clients from Chicago Quant. It's got the blue lines. It's a little bit easier to see. And I think we'll match them to two to make sure that they are doing the same exact thing. Okay, so here is the UUP. And so it's been up. See, it went into the buy here. It's marked more on this. And then it failed and gave us a volatility signal, but nothing. And then yesterday, it closed in a daily sell. The daily is going down. It's been in a weekly sell for 3 weeks, but it's flirting with the weekly buy. Now let's look at the other one. It should be the same way. Yeah, so it's 3 weeks down, but it's just not marked. We didn't put the lines in it. And then, so the weekly is trying to turn up, and the daily is flirting with the daily sell there. So we'll see, and see if that gives you a good direction of what the DXY is doing. It's the same product, increments of stuff, just in a different dimension. So it's the 5 currencies, or the 6 currencies: the kroner, the Swiss, the Canadian, the the British pound, the Japanese yen, and the euro. Same combination. I believe it's all in the same exact increments. I think it's like 39% of the euro, and it's like, was it like 18% or something like that? 19% of the yen, and then it's like 16% of the pound, and then it's like then the other 3 make up the rest to make it 100%. There we go. And so that's where we are there. Alrighty. And you can see it we have it on the fact check spreadsheet too. You can take a look at it there also at the same time. That is down at the bottom, all the way down at the bottom. We've talked about moving that up above the stock indices. Oh, no, it is. It's above the stock indices. I think we're talking about moving the Bitcoin up higher so people can see it easier compared to the DAX and the FTSE right there. And so you can see it right there, the DXY. We keep it listed as the DXY because at one time we used to have the DXY on there. It's 2 weeks in a sell. So I guess what it should be is 3 weeks in a sell, not 2 weeks. There we are. Not sure why it says 2. Because you can see it here. 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. So 3 weeks in a sell, and then it is flirting with the weekly buy. Right there. Same thing, just different colors. And this is just for our Chicago quant charts. I hope that helped you out there. And then it's, remember, what we talk about here, Barry, is that we believe that just because, they call them pairs trades, we don't believe that they're always functioning in a pair. We kind of, there are times where what happens is that they're buying euros, and instead of selling dollars, they sell gold, or they sell oil. They sell anything denominated in the currency, which makes them short the dollar. When you sell it, you're short the dollar and that product at the same time. And so, if they own calls on the crude oil and sell it short at the same time, basically you're just risking the currency translation, but not necessarily the product itself. And so we've kind of now treated ever since quantitative easing in 2008, we've kind of referred to currency pairs more of a three-legged stool, where the third leg is it can be altered. In other words, you can use surrogates for the dollar. You can sell silver, you can sell gold or platinum, or you can sell corn or wheat or soybeans. Anything heavily denominated, crude oil, denominated in dollars, you can short that instead, and then you just need to cover your currency side of it. Or like I said, imagine if you're long option derivatives in that product, now you're not risking the appreciation or depreciation of the product itself. You're just risking the currency translation. And so we do know that the central banks are very antsy about different institutions or countries selling heavily different currencies and moving them out of the trading bands that they seem to demand for. And because of that, we see, that's the way we follow the pairs trades nowadays. And also what it has done since 2008, which is over 12 years now, what they've done is they've made smaller, what they used to refer to as exotic pairs trades, like say New Zealand Canadian or British pound yen, things like that, which were way less active. Now they've made them more active because money flows into that. We will see you Monday, Oscar. Good seeing you. God bless. Hang tough in there. Wash the hands, do all the things, but at the same time, don't take it too serious, that corona thing. Just be smart. As I like to say, be smart, be safe. So we don't believe it's as deadly as they talk about. All right. Have a good 3-dayer. All right. Now, so Barry, that's how we go. That's how we do this thing. Would you like to see any other product that you follow besides the dollar index? And we can show you where the math is. Now let's jump over to, let's see, what do we do here? We have some stocks in here, like the stock indices. You can see like the NASDAQ, got into a daily buy yesterday from it. Whereas, say, something like the SPY, the S&P 500, was 2 days ago and flirted with a volatility signal right there, which is a green and red dot on the same bar. And so it was telling us that there's some action coming. In this case here, since it was on the plus side trying to fight its way up, we knew right here when it started to move up right off on the beginning of that bar, we knew it was going to go, and it did. You can see here we are flirting with the weekly. We've been in a weekly sell for 2 full weeks there. And, we'll see how that plays itself out. Let's see. Now, where is NASDAQ? Now, why does NASDAQ say 3? I'm a little confused. Sometimes numbers get pushed in the wrong direction on this fact check spreadsheet. And if no one's paying attention to it, I'm not even paying attention to it. So let's just go over to the NQs. The NQs are here. Let's just take a look at the NQs. And the NQs are, see, they're in a weekly buy for 3 weeks. See that? Now, this is a GAS 3.5. So what we're using here, let's do that again. And then what we do is we show you how we're looking at it. We're looking at plot 6, which is the 5 in the super right there. See, I need to move this down so you can see what I'm pointing at. There we are. So, let's see if you can see my mouse now. So right there we go. So you can see the 3.5 means that we're watching the plot 6 notice that the plot 4 is invisible. That's part of the 3. And the plot 1 we're watching, which is not invisible. So plot 5 and 4 are invisible. So we're using those. Okay, so now they both have to be unison. So in other words, the histogram here in the white line is that's plot 6 and plot 1 are plus. So we're in a buy. Okay, now you can see white line drops, but the histogram stays. Plot 6 has still stayed plus, still in a buy. Now you can see the following week, plot 6 still leaping up, and plot 3 is still minus, so it's still in the buy. And then now you have them trying to, you can see the plot 6 has dropped off, and it's a minus 0.458. But now plot 1 is 7850 plus, so it's still at a buy. And so that sometimes we use it's a gas line 3 combined with a gas line 5, and we make whereas when you look at a gas line 3, notice there is no plot 6. And so what we're looking at is the plot 4 and the plot 1, and the reason why we're looking at the plot 4 on it is because we want to see how far it goes away from the time manifold itself. And that's what we're watching there. So they both go minus at the same time when it's just a single gas line. So it's a good explanation of the whole system there. And that's all we're really trying to do, is we're trying to extrapolate the action. Notice when it gets high up and starts to break down and comes after the time manifold, you'll notice that there becomes weakness a few days later. Same thing here. It starts to break down here. You notice we get weakness. In this case here, it goes into a daily sell there, and we get days and days of selling. So that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 days of selling. Matter of fact, it's having a hard time each time to just get through the time manifold on the minus side. There's a lot of nuances there you can watch with our math. And as you watch our math over time, you can see that there's a lot more insight and direction. And I designed this back in the 80s for, I created it in the 70s to fight the Higgs boson when I was doing physics. But then when the listed options market was created in 76, or became fully functional in 76, then a lot of us in the math world started to aim towards, in the physics world and so forth, in the science world and the engineering world, ran from our respective areas of interest and moved towards the financial markets, where they removed the zero-sum factor. We knew by creating listed options that we removed the zero-sum factor. Now we've explained that. That might sound a little complicated, but let me just explain what the zero-sum factor does. Before 1976, basically, and listed options, everything was a zero-sum factor. So in other words, if you were buying a stock, someone else was selling a stock. They were selling it long or they were selling it short, and that was it. Okay? And so, in other words, they were out of the position. So they closed out a long, or they were short it, one or the other. Okay, so now, imagine you're playing cards with 52 deck of cards, okay? And so there's a limited amount of people who can be playing that game, because if it's poker, you can only have, everybody's getting 5 cards, that type of thing, and next thing you know, 5 people, that's 25 cards. There's not many cards left for you to deal with there. Okay, so you can start to count them. All right, now, with the zero-sum factor removed, imagine that 52 deck now. You couldn't have 10 people playing a poker game. There'd be no cards to hand out. But with the zero-sum factor removed, now you could have a million people playing with those 52 cards. And that's the difference. Before zero-sum factor, what you had is you could only have 4, 5, or 6 people playing the deck of cards. Maybe 10 people would just blow up the whole game. Now, after it's removed, you could have a million people playing with the 52 cards. And that's what a zero-sum factor is all about. And so, we ran away from the sciences and moved towards the financial markets, and so then I moved my laboratory to Princeton, and we over the last 8 years we've modified it with a combination of Euler's mathematics and stochastics and standard deviation and a little theory of Gauss combined together. And now what we've done is we've taken the math and we've modified it. So the dots used to be just dots. When it was green, you get long. When it was red, you get short. That was it. We did that for decades. And now we have the lines, so we don't even have to put out numbers anymore or figure out where things are at. We just look at the histograms. And it just does it all. And so that's what Doc's math is all about, and that's what all the spreadsheet is about, counting that. We always counted it. We always kept a track of it. And we've done the spreadsheet, and you would see if something's like there, the dollar yen, 10 weeks now on a weekly sell. So let's go take a look at the dollar yen. There it is right there. Went into the sell on this week here, right around in here somewhere. You can see it's not the most beautiful sell, and we always commingle the dailies with it. So in other words, once it went into the buy, it says don't be short, and then when it goes short here again, you can trade that little down move, and vice versa. It tells you not to be short here, and then this one it tells you to be short again. You can play it, down to here or whatever, take a profit, and then one day it pops up and then goes back into a sell, and you can see when here, where we went into the sell in this area here, right around in there. Let's just make that black and thick. So you can see this one was not a beautiful one at all. It went into a sell here, went down, it went sideways, went down, leaped up to it, hit it, goes down. Overall, the trend is down. Our weekly trend is down, and you can see this has been minus, and it's a Gasline 5 Super. Let's just take a look at that. Now, this one is running, for some reason, it's running on the 4 plot and the 1 plot. So that's okay. So you don't even pay attention to, this one is just the minus all the way across. You see here, it was still minus 0.01. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's going to be 11 weeks even right here. And you can see right there we're trying to go into a daily sell today. Is that today? Yeah, that's today. And so we've been in, let's just go over to here where I do it. Is that, where's the, so anyway, let's put it in here. We'll just put the line in there. So there's the daily buy. There was a daily sell right there. And then, there was a daily buy, and it took you nowhere for a couple of days, but it didn't make more money. And so that's how you read the spreadsheet and look at the charts. And then, like I said, we're watching the white line and the histogram, and the white line in particular, what we've done is we've extrapolated. It's a double of the histogram. So when you're looking at a Gasline 3, this is just a double. And so we just want to see, it's a 2 standard deviation. And so compared to a 1. And so we just want to see how high it goes up and see if it, and notice it seems to, when it gets high and then starts to move down, it's a topping out characteristic. And then when it breaks the time manifold, there's definite pressure going on there. Same thing here. Breaks it right there. You see, 3 or 4 days, it finds a way to go down. In this case here, it got through the line one day and then rolled over and went totally minus, and you can see the pressure on it again. And so what we've done is we used our math throughout the decades using options, trading options. So, do you care to find out what our best one-day option, or not one day, but our one best option trade was? How much money we made in one option using $30-some-odd thousand? We'll see if you care, and I will give you the answer to that. It's always fascinating. It was in Juniper. We were trading Juniper stock. We put on a big back spread for about $30,000 we could risk. We got 3 minutes before we end this webinar, so we'll see if you come back and ask. All right. What else can we look at here? Where were we? We were over in the commodities? Yeah, maybe in the commodities. So, yeah, we were looking at the NQs. So they've been holding up in a weekly, and it keeps on trying to bounce up there. These are all-time highs, too. We're playing with all-time high territory here. That's all-time highs right there. OTE. Let's see, what else can we look at in the in this? There's Robo Gasoline. That's rolling over with gas. Let's see what the crude oil is doing again. Crude oil's doing the same thing, but then it's a holiday. It's quiet, no action. Looks like it's going to find its way into a buy this week on the crude oil, so that's cool. I don't know much about options. This is so much sauce to take. I hear you. Just we move slow. Don't worry about that. We'll discuss options. Options. There are 5 words that you need to know about options. There's a call and there's a put. Okay. When your stock or currency goes up in value, the value of a call goes up in value. Okay. When a put, when a currency or a stock or anything goes down, or gold goes down, the put makes money. It goes up in value. Okay. And obviously reverse. So if gold is going up, the call is making money and the put is losing money. Okay? It's pretty much like a seesaw. It's not that complicated. Now, so always think of the call as the long. Think of this, the put is being short. And the put being the short. Now, where it gets a little scarier is that you can buy a call or sell a call. And you can buy a put and sell a put. And what you're buying or selling is called a premium. That's the next third word. Remember I said there's just 5 words, basically. And one word is compounded. So it's call, put, premium. There's 3. Okay. All you have to do is learn what these 5 words mean, and you'll be able to understand options. And we can teach you options here. We do that sometimes. We get into conversations and we talk about options, and we talk about it in a very simplistic way. And so now, what's the 4th word? Exercise. You know, where it expires or exercises out. You can use either word, expire or exercise. It's a combination, I guess you could say. So that's the 4th word, where it expires. You know, and then the 5th word is strike price. And so it's a compound word. So exercise or expire is pretty much the same thing. I guess it's 2 different words. I guess you could say it that way. But it's all the same meaning. Something that expires, you know, it's done. Or you exercise it, it's done. Either way you want to look at it. So it's a commingling of the 2, expire or exercise, because they can do it by itself. In other words, if it goes all the way to its expiration date, or you exercise it, you can exercise it early. American options. It's not necessarily traded in America. There's 2 different types of options overall. There's a European option and an American option. And but they trade American options in Europe, and they trade European options in America. American options, you can exercise it, and European options you cannot. That's all. And that's it right there, done. So it's basically the most important thing out of it all is the expiration date, the premium, the call, the put, and the strike price. So call, put, premium, expiration, and strike price. And the premium, when they name something, it always tells you what the expiration is. It's always written in there. So none of these are mysterious. But no one really tries to explain it too much. So, all right, this is Doc from North America. We will catch you on Friday. I will broadcast tomorrow. We will be partially open in the United States. Stock markets and currency markets and everything else are trading for about 3 hours. So happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends.